Dear Elijah and Elena, two wrongs don't make a right. Again, somebody does you wrong, okay? It is not appropriate to do them back wrong, okay? The interesting thing about two wrongs not making a right is many times, and probably even ultimately, well, I put it like this. You know, your father's a spiritual person, very devout, not perfect, obviously, but ultimately that's not what God would call us to do anyway. So it's a hard thing to forgive a person or people when they do you wrong. Maybe it'll be easy for you too, not necessarily easy for me. But it's one of those things that's what we're called to do. We're called to be forgiving. Now, let me also add that just because you're forgiving and you should not necessarily hold it against the person, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to be a fool and trust them after they've wronged you, okay? Trust is a delicate thing. So it's one of those things to be very, very careful to continuously trust the same person or the same people that do the same wrong against you, okay? And then later on complain about them wronging you or doing you wrong when you keep going back to them. Now, at the same time, because they've done you wrong, that doesn't mean you should also do wrong back to them. And it might change in different scenarios. I'll give you an example, and then I'll go ahead and cut this video short. I have a first cousin, so a family member to you all. I will never forget once told me that when she would give money or loan people money, which I think she said was rare anyway, but when a friend would ask her for money, she would just give them the money. And they would say something many times like, "Oh, I'm gonna pay you back," and she would say, "Well, I'm not expecting you to pay me back. I'm giving it to you freely. It's like a gift, okay? So I'm gonna give you this money, and I'm not expecting to see it back." That way, it takes the expectation out of it, because many times what happens is well, not many times, but a lot of times what can happen is that you go off and give this person the money. They say they're going to pay you back, and many times they may forget, or they don't think about it, or something happens, and then you get upset, and it ends a relationship or ends a friendship. So a way to avoid ending a friendship over money is to just say, "Look, I'm giving it to you for free. Don't worry about paying me back. Don't worry about interest or anything like that." So again, that's one of those things to think about: forgiving people, letting things go, not trying to return them harm if they've done you harm, but also learning to let stuff go, because it can weigh you down. It can provide stress for you, which can ultimately lead to you not having peace in your life and just becoming more and more unhappy. So again, try to remember that two wrongs don't make a right, okay? Something to think about.